We have had the patience of Job. That's a Bible reference for any of you who may not know that one. Waiting for a Bitcoin ETF approval, and we are finally getting a Bitcoin Futures ETF set to launch tomorrow. And with that, we've had incredible institutional interest and bullish price action on Bitcoin. Not so much on altcoins, but now it's time to watch the king. Guys, we're going to talk about all of that and the news that's driving markets today. You don't want to miss it. Let's go.
Let's go.
What is up, Wolfpack? Happy Monday morning, at least Monday morning where I am. I know for some of you it's afternoon, evening, and night, like the Truman Show. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. So before we get started, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and throw something aggressively at the like button. You want to take your keyboard, you want to hold it up like this. You want to throw something at it, kind of like when you're at the fair and you're trying to knock down the bottles with the baseball. You got to keep throwing at it until you hit the like button. Don't do that. Don't actually do that. There might be that one person out there who's like, oh, God, we'll do it. Throws a baseball right at their keyboard, smashes it, asks me for a refund. I don't know if you guys have seen this on Twitter. I don't know if it's just me. Somebody is trying to spam my Twitter account out of existence. Pretty annoying. You can pay companies if you really hate someone on Twitter. Somebody obviously really hates me. To go spam someone's account, send like thousands of fake followers, comments, retweets at their account so that Twitter's security thing triggers thinking that I'm trying to like buy bots or something to promote my account. So that's happening right now. I had my pinned tweet went from like 100 likes to 3,000 likes, 3,000 comments, 3,000 retweets, 3,000 quote tweets in a matter of an hour. And they're all just saying, great project, terrific project, amazing project. So if you guys see my account disappear from Twitter, you'll know why. You'll know that that person who's actually spending money to get me kicked off Twitter was successful. Good times, guys. Good times. So as we talked about in the introduction there, it's all about the Bitcoin ETF right now, ain't it? Yes, it is. We got Bitcoin pushes towards record as futures ETF poised to debut. As you know, we're a few percent under the all-time high here on price, largely fueled by the Bitcoin ETF hype, and it hasn't stopped. So like everyone's concerned, buy the rumor, sell the news. Well, it's going to apparently launch tomorrow, so we'll see if that happens, just like 2017 with CME futures and the Coinbase listing, of course. But it's pretty much been approved. The news is here, and price is still continuing to go up. And, you know, like this is just a very basic. They're talking about how incredible this surge has been in October. I mean, 43%. We have Plan B. My God, this guy, what was he like? 46K in September. No big deal. 43K, I mean, August. 43K in September. 63K in October. Boom. Boom. Dude's coming through like some sort of profit. I know nobody can tell the future, but yeah, man, he is definitely nailing it at the moment. Listen, I got somebody spamming over here about some crap called Gamma Token. User have been blocked. You've been blocked. I just blocked someone. Yeah. So anyways, my Twitter account getting spammed. Now my YouTube also getting spammed. But so here we are, guys. We're pushing towards a record here on many fronts. Here's the article. SEC approves Bitcoin Futures ETF, opening up crypto to wider investor base. ProShares set to launch trading of its Bitcoin Futures ETF next week. Obviously, this was written a couple days ago. That will be happening tomorrow. Invesco, I believe, a day later. Valkyrie, who I am invested in, about a week after that. Absolutely epic that we're going to see this encouraging sign. ETF store president Nate Garachi told CoinDesk the form is a step forward for digital assets and bridging them with the more traditional financial sector. That's why this is important, guys. We'll get more into the difference between a physical ETF, which would be better, and a futures ETF. Obviously, this is not investing in physical Bitcoin. It's investing in futures contracts. That's how they were able to push this through, by using basically rules that were set for mutual funds rather than for like a commodity or whatever you want to call Bitcoin. But this is something that the SEC was much friendlier to. They didn't really have the grounds to block it, and that's why they've been able to do it. But what really matters here is this is setting the stage, right? Depending on what happens with this Bitcoin Futures ETF, it's setting the stage for what could be a physical ETF or other products in the future. This also gives a lot of institutions that were not comfortable with investing in Bitcoin's underlying asset, or GBTC, because of the discounts and jacked up structure. This gives them a way to start to get exposure here. So it's really, really exciting. CME sees record open interest in Bitcoin futures ahead of ETF debut. This is proof that it's institutions that are buying and that they are very, very interested and that they are generally bullish, right? Record open interest on the CME represents increased institutional participation. Here's the numbers. They had 3.64 billion on Friday. So the dollar value of open interest, or the number of futures contracts traded but not liquidated with an offsetting position, stood at 3.64 billion. Previous high was 3.26 billion back in February. And that was still a few months before the end of the bull run, right? Keep that in mind. But what's important here is that, like I said, this means there's real institutional volume coming in. This isn't a meme. This isn't a joke. This is proof. Billions and billions and billions of dollars bullish, because we are seeing an ETF approval. So what comes next for someone like GBTC, which I mentioned before? Listen, the GBTC has been a crappy product, but it's been the only product for people who want to invest, put Bitcoin in their IRA, don't want to touch the underlying asset. Well, the obvious, right? Grayscale said close to filing to convert Bitcoin fund into spot ETF, CNBC. That's what's going to happen. That's going to happen, right? Grayscale wants to convert to an ETF, but they're kind of in an unfortunate limbo here, if you think about it, because the GBTC product cannot be converted to a futures ETF. They need a physical ETF to be approved, which means that they will have to then go for a physical ETF. We've seen those rejected for years, although we are seeing quite a few more still being yeah, I'm sorry, I'm reading something here from my ethic. Yeah, we're still seeing them being applied for. They're all over the place. We have a lot of them still pending approval. Van Eck, even November 14th, has to get their final answer on physical. So we could see that approved soon. And so Grayscale, they just need to be careful, because basically you get an answer within 75 days. Then you had the SEC has 3 times to kick the can down the road, as they have done with Van Eck. I'm curious if you guys would be interested in investing in this ETF if it launches. Will you personally be looking to do that? Do you invest in other ETFs? I want to sort of get a gauge of temperature of you guys, my followers, if this is something you've been looking for. Have you been waiting? I know people who will not buy Bitcoin but have been waiting for an ETF, right? They want to put it in their IRA. They want to do it with, in a manner that's compliant with their company policies, because they work at a hedge fund or traders. Are you guys looking to invest in these ETFs? And do you already invest in any other ETFs? I'd be really interested to know as we continue here. But yeah, so Grayscale is in this awkward position where they need that underlying physical ETF, and they're going to try to convert, because listen, a physical Bitcoin ETF crushes Grayscale. Why would you ever buy GBTC with high fees, 20% discount right now, no premium, when you can just buy an ETF? They can't. It kills the product completely. So they need to now get positioned for a move into the physical space. This is what I want to talk about as far as why I still believe this is a bullish thing. Bitcoin futures ETF may boost cash and carry yields. I've explained this trade to you before. Renewed interest in cash and carry would bring more buying pressure to the spot market. Right. So there's a lot of people who say that a Bitcoin futures ETF can be bad for some reasons. One just being that it's a buy the rumor, sell the news. Others saying there could be contango bleed. So what contango means, for any of you who don't understand, and this is what Bitcoin's almost always in contango, because there's an expectation that price will be higher. But contango means that spot price is lower. I should say, make it clear. Futures contract prices are higher than spot price, meaning there's an expectation that price will go up in the future, and there's a gap between the spot price and that futures price, right? We did have a brief time this summer where it was in backwardation, meaning that futures contracts were priced lower than spot, meaning there's downward pressure, and that people are expecting the future price of Bitcoin to be lower, right? So what now that we're back in contango, 16% in contango, this is the trade, and this has been the trade in general, regardless of an ETF. But when you add a Bitcoin futures ETF, it should add fuel to the fire. This is how most institutions that have a trading desk that are offering you yield on your coins are getting you that yield. I'm not saying specifically, but the CeFi platforms where you're parking coins and getting yield, they're taking the money you put in and they're trading it. And until this summer, the cash and carry was the key trade. The key trade they were making money. It's a free, basically 10 to 20%. What you do, you can do this as an individual in theory too. They buy spot right? So tons of buying pressure on the spot market, hence why it keeps going up, hence why it was going up the entire first quarter and almost the most of the second quarter. And then you short the futures contract. And then as the prices converge, it's basically free money and free yield up to 10 to 20%. Here's what someone had to say about it. One key effect of a futures-based ETF is the possible increase in yield in the space. With the ETF funds forced to buy futures instead of spot, the futures premium would be driven higher, right? So you get a larger gap because they can't buy. Now anyone who wants to invest in an ETF is buying the futures, not the spot. So that's going to drive the future price up, right? So the futures premium would be driven higher. A risk-free rate cash and carry yield of 10 to 20% could be the new norm. These platforms do this over and over and over again, and they hand you 10%. They make their 15, they give you 10%. It's literally almost a risk-free trade, barring a epic market crash or a certain few things. But as long as futures are majorly in contango, it's basically free money to buy spot and short the future. Buy spot and short the future. That is what is happening here. I buy the real thing too, but for me with my company is different. I got other partners that are not into crypto. That's right. So there's a lot of people who just want to see an ETF. They just want to see an ETF. See, I hold GBTC in my Roth IRA. You would rather be obviously holding an ETF with a lower fee and no discount, right? Right. So here we go, guys. On to the next. We're going to now take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin chart. Well, there's your monthly chart. If only there was someone here who kept saying, my God, the monthly chart looks good. Me. The guy waving a pinky at his face awkwardly. That was me. Been in this channel since 2013. I'm going to just keep showing it to you guys because I'm proud of it. And you're going to sit here and you're going to take it. But no, seriously, right? I mean, every time that the EQ has been flipped to resistance or support, you've taken a trip to the top or bottom. Flipped here, went to the top. Flipped down here, went to the bottom. Flipped here, went to the top. Flipped down here, retested, went to the bottom. Flipped here, retested. This is basically mimicking this move, right? But up and went to and should go to the top. 200,000, 235, 250, 275, 300, depends on how long it takes. That's where I think we're going. That's what this says. Ain't me, it's the chart. It's a chart. And if this was an hourly chart and price was like, $70 and I was like, it's going to 140 on the chart, you'd be like, fine. People freak out because it's a huge number. It's a monthly chart, but CA works the same on every time frame. How about this? Highest weekly close in the history of Bitcoin ever, of all time, ever in history of all time. Right there, that purple line, 59,985 was the highest ever. And right before the close, it started dipping down. Did you guys see that? Did you guys see that? Like yesterday, there was this dip. Where is it? Let me see if I can find it here in the 4 hour. We had the dip, right? It dipped below right there a few hours and then epic liquidity grab and went right back up. But that was pretty interesting. And even in the newsletter this morning, I said, hey, the retest is where you want to be. We got the retest. Look at that. Got the retest. Even on the weekly, you can see it right there. Retest of 59,985 already as support. That's the first level you're looking for. It's the highest weekly close ever. So that means looking here, zero resistance on the weekly chart up to the all-time high. There's just this wick. Just this wick. Kristen bought that dip. Where is it? She bought that dip. Yeah, Kristen. That's what you do it. Is this what a dead cat bounce looks like? You can't talk about a dead cat bounce when price is all the way back to the high. A dead cat bounce is invalidated like 50, 60% of the bounce. You cannot have a dead cat bounce that bounces as high as the original bounce. That's a live cat bounce. That cat is alive. And if you do anything to that cat, I swear on that cat is alive. Do not bounce that cat. Do not bounce that cat. Do not bounce that cat. Yeah, the only thing dead here is bears. Dead bear. Like I said yesterday on Twitter, salty bear meat is on the menu. And boy, are they salty. Mad. You cannot have a dead cat bounce that goes as high. Dead cat bounce would have ended like here. First of all, dead cat bounce is invalidated also when you make this higher high, right? A dead cat bounce, like you get, let's do a drawing. Like if you have, this is why dead cat bounces like that are kind of why you get these descending triangles, right? You have price in here and it goes up and then comes down. That's kind of like a bouncing ball, right? Lower bounce, right? Not what we saw here. The minute that this happens, which is what we saw, we got above this, that is completely dead. Cool drawing, bro. I'm glad you're so artistically talented. So yeah, looking very good on the weekly here. Yeah, we have tweezer tops right now, but a lot of time. What's interesting is, remember last week we had a shooting star here until like Thursday. We had this little body and this long wick up. Well, we pushed through. You can't judge the candle till it's done. Here we are in the daily, 59.603 being the key resistance there, being flipped to support right there in that same candle. Beautiful. All's looking well, guys. All's looking well. Don't know what to tell you. I would love to get all bearish and emotional with you guys. Oh, I want to talk about this. I talked about it on Twitter and the newsletter, but I'm going to feed it to you guys really quick. The double top. The double top. The double top. Everyone's screaming. Bitcoin's right back to the all-time high. It's a double top. First of all, anytime any asset ever retests a high, you have people screaming for a potential double top, right? Price literally can't break through it without touching it, at which point people are going to yell double top. For a double top to exist is the same for a double bottom. I want to be clear on this, the rules of a double top. A double top is only a potential idea until the swing low between those tops is broken. Okay, we had the top here at 65, a move down to 28.8, and now we have a potential double top. We don't. As people are screaming, double top, it's going to hell. You can't even say the word double top until you break 28.8. So anything from 61 to here, or wherever we are, 60, would be literally having nothing to do with this double top. How can you trade this? And if it breaks, this would be the trade, right? And what's your target on a linear scale of a double top here, considering it'd be a 60% drop? Negative 7,538.41, which is a dip I would buy. I would buy Bitcoin at negative 7,500. But guys, this is nonsense. It cannot be done. It's not a thing. Please don't worry about a double top. Hey, crypto fear and greed index 78. You guys are extremely greedy. Congratulations. Weren't we just extremely fearful like a month ago? Not even. Amazing how fast human psychology pumps over. So now listen, guys, we have open interest is exploding. Longs are piling up. People are extremely greedy. We saw a little bit of that flushed yesterday on that dip, but don't be surprised. Listen, everything is bullish, but don't be surprised if somebody takes advantage of this and squeezes longs and we see one of those cascading drops and bounces. Right. Anytime you get extreme greed, anytime you get longs piling up, anytime you see extreme open interest, you expect to get one of those flushes. It's free money for someone who can move the market like that. But I think it would be very temporary if it does happen. And we know we need extreme fear. We need this situation to break the all-time high. We were going to have mass FOMO to get past the all-time high. It wasn't going to just like happen. Oh, guys, we're extremely fearful, but broke the all-time high. Right? Yeah. So listen, Goldeneye, I agree. Extremely greedy, yet retail are not even here. I don't trust that scale right now. Listen, I agree. This is based on the people who are here. So that's what I'm saying. We can get so much more FOMO. So much more FOMO. Listen, I wasn't someone just said ADA equals slow death. I had no intention of talking about any alts right now, but I'm going to take a look at this on the Bitcoin pair because it's important. Because this is what we're seeing. And I've been talking about this forever. This is ADA on the Bitcoin pair losing every support on the way down. I have this area pegged, by the way, this zone right here to potentially buy ADA if you wanted. Well, take a look at Litecoin too. Because Litecoin looked like it might bounce. On the weekly, Litecoin has lost the all-time low as support. Barely, but it's a breakdown and now has retested it as resistance. If Bitcoin rages to new all-time highs, guys, your alts will stay the same price in USDT because Bitcoin's going up and they will get absolutely destroyed on the Bitcoin pairs. Absolutely destroyed. That's what's been happening with ADA. Dominance is raging. That's what's happening here on Litecoin. I do not see a great situation for alts right now. I've been telling you guys this for 2 weeks. It's fine, trade some on the USDT pair, but expect, listen, like if Bitcoin consolidates here for a week under the all-time high, we could see a nice bounce. But if the minute that it breaks through and pushes to like 70, 75, 80, wherever this is going, alts are just going to get destroyed, but they're going to catch up. They do catch up. I'm not saying like sell them. I'm not saying whatever, but like yes, maybe this is the bottom and maybe you'll catch the knife, but just ignore them for now. No point. Speaking of which, global cryptocurrency market cap hits 2.6 trillion, returning to all-time high. Not anymore, but it was there for a very brief moment, breaking over it. You know, we looked at this ye old dick and balls pattern, as I talked about yesterday. You sick individuals who saw this as a tiny 1 inch. We talk about 1 inch with humongous cup, big cup, small handle. But yeah, look, it's kind of a bearish SFP on market cap. Doesn't matter. We don't trade it. Right. But yeah, it temporarily got there, but now back down below about $2.47 trillion right now. 2.5 trillion sounds like an absolutely huge number, right? You're like, oh my God, Bitcoin's 2.5 trillion. It's huge. And then you're like, you look at like a quick stimulus package or infrastructure package now versus like 10 years ago. And like, oh, they're going to print like 3 trillion more just so that like Congress people can have better healthcare and eat free Kobe beef imported steaks at every Congress gathering. 3 trillion. That's not even 400 private jets. It's a lot more than 400 private jets. That's the worst math ever. But you get the idea. We can print money at such a level now that 3 trillion doesn't even sound big. It's kind of a small market. You can see here, we're likely to push through that. If Bitcoin goes bigger, we're going to be going high. Yeah, the famous banana hammock pattern, also known as the coin purse. Coin purse. Rem, that's gross. That's gross. But I'm gonna put it up here anyways. And then I'm also gonna cough. Ready? Didn't hear it. I muted you guys. Forgot about those. Did you hear the air horn? Did it work? Did you hear it?
Congratulations.
Yeah, I played myself. I didn't even remember that we had these things. I didn't even add any new ones. Didn't even add any new sounds yet. Yeah, trillion sounds normal. It used to be like a big deal to be a millionaire. Million. What's that with the M? Billions. Soon it's going to be like, oh, we got so many billionaires. Doesn't even matter. It can be so many billionaires. It's going to be like, I'm rich, guys. Yeah. Now you guys love the horns. Love that horn. Anyways, let's keep going on here. Yeah, you guys can hear him. That's good. Okay, so listen, I don't know what's going to happen with market cap. I just know that if you're shaped like this, go see a doctor. Continuing on, all the news is Bitcoin today. Why you're probably better off buying Bitcoin than a futures ETF. This is for everyday investors. New Bitcoin ETFs might be more costly and complicated than purchasing crypto directly. No shit. If you're just like a dude who wants to buy Bitcoin, don't buy a futures ETF. Come on, man. Buy some Bitcoin. Man up. Man up. Don't be this guy. You know, like maybe your handle comes all the way down back to 1.13 trillion. Don't be that guy. Man up. Buy some Bitcoin. What are you afraid of, dude? What are you afraid of? But yeah, here, let's go on. They have a bunch of reasons. What's the case for buying a futures ETF? If you want Bitcoin exposure in a traditional brokerage account, I get that. Like if you got a Schwab account, you like to have everything under one roof. You're like, oh, I'm going to play golf and go to the polo grounds. Get on my sailboat and sail away across Long Island Sound. That's you. You're a traditional investor. You don't want to like deal with more accounts. You buy this futures ETF. Sure. If you want to I don't really get this one. If you're crypto crazed and want a slightly safer offering, like if you're super into crypto or you really like, I got to get some of my money into that ETF just in case. But that's what they're saying. If you don't want to mess with digital wallets, keys, that's totally fair. If you don't want to wait for an ETF that physically holds Bitcoin, don't know if it's coming, might as well do it now. And what are the reasons to steer clear? Why should you just, buy your Bitcoin? Trying to reduce costs. There will be at least a 1% fee, like any other ETF, probably. So listen, for every $1,000 you invest, they're going to take $10. As it says here, if you're new to Bitcoin, yes, this could be your like gateway drug. Like, bro, you're like out here and you're like, I'm 74 years old. I've never smoked pot. This shit's great. Let's go do some crack. And then you buy physical Bitcoin, right? But if you're still the one who's like, I might take my first toke at 35 years old, maybe this is for you. You're new to it. And you just want to get a little taste. You just want a little taste, right? If you want to see the range of offerings available, dude, there's a lot of Bitcoin futures ETFs about to launch. We could have like 10 of these by the end of the month, something like that. So maybe you just want to wait and see and if you're wary of a brand new product, sure. I mean, wary of a brand new product. It's not like they're launching like Milwaukee's best light ice here, and you're like, I don't know, I'm gonna have to have my friends drink that 6-pack. Sounds nasty. Why do they need the light and the ice both in the same thing? Right. But yeah, there's some risk with futures. It might not exactly track the price of Bitcoin. We all know that. We've talked about the contango. It should closely track, but there will be times when the price of a futures ETF is pretty disparate from the underlying. I don't know who we're talking about that smokes joints like old school boomers, but that's cool. Never be satisfied with just the tip. Right. Oh, your mom, Kristen, your mom smokes pot. Yeah, she probably smokes doobies. Right? Doobies. Good doobies. All right, let's keep on going. But listen, if you're just a normal person, dude, man up and buy some Bitcoin. Stop being a pansy. Stop being a pansy. I've been waiting for the ETF, so like Gary Gensler tells me it's okay. Biggest Bitcoin whales are in decline, but smaller whales multiplying rapidly. That's tight. The number of Bitcoin whales holding 10,000 Bitcoin or more, have fun staying poor, has hit the lowest point since 2012. Bitcoin whales holding 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin have multiplied in the last 5 months. So, dude, they're just like jackrabbits out there, just humping. A lot of whale sex. Bitcoin has steadily been adopted by a number of institutions worldwide this year. But here you go. This sounds like a huge piece of news. And you're like, how many of these wallets? By the way, there can be whales who have multiple wallets. There's a lot of people who probably have like 1,000 in like 10 wallets because they don't want to put 10,000 in one wallet. But we're only talking about 82 people, 82 wallets. The low is like, it was like 81 or 83 back in like 2012. Here it is. 81 wallets, but they were $13. Bitcoin was $13. So now, are you surprised that maybe they sold a little bit? But yeah, it kind of sold a little bit. But guys, people are getting super rich who are in that 100 to 1,000 Bitcoin range. We're seeing those grow. And I think we shouldn't be that concerned whether there's 84 or 81 gojillionaires in the Bitcoin space. Those are the guys who are doing the Squid Games. You guys watch Squid Game? You know, the guys in like the freaky masks at the end who are like, oh, I bet $1 million on number 17. I can't believe he fell in the hole and he's dead. What a jabroni. I feel like these 82 whales, they're Squid Game's based on them. They're the guys betting on the Squid Game, I feel like. Oh, no spoilers. It's not a spoiler. It's just a game. I'm sorry. Didn't mean to. Anyways, yeah, here we go. Square is considering building Bitcoin miners, says CEO Jack Dorsey. We know that Jack is all in. Jack, this guy is such an epic Jack, this guy. Right. Someone's mom won't let her watch Squid Games. Sorry for you. But if you're under like, I don't know, if you're not even in your 20s, you might want to skip it. Yeah. Oh, Squid Game. I've talked about this before. I would dominate that. Like, just stand still. It's red light, green light. I was good at it as a kid. I don't see guns changing that for me. Whatever. Square is considering building Bitcoin miners. Yeah, no big surprises here. Jack did a whole thread on it. Square is considering building a Bitcoin mining system based on custom silicon and open source for individuals and businesses worldwide. If we do this, we'd follow our hardware wallet model, build in the open in collaboration with the community. For some thoughts and questions. So that's what you got to love here is the fact that they're doing it. They're going to do it. Yeah, Jack's Mega Bowl. Open source, right? You'll be able to see everything they're doing. I love that they'll be sourcing it from the community, and that's the way they're going to approach it. CFTC fines Tether and Bitfinex $42.5 million for untrue or misleading claims. The U.S. regulator issued an order simultaneously filing and settling charges against Tether. Hey, guys, we filed charges against you. You lose. That's basically what happened. The issuer of the crypto's industry's largest stablecoin. Basically, this is retroactive. It's saying that in the past, Bitfinex and Tether were not that clear about what was backing Tether. We know this. No surprise. The order also here. Let's see what they say. At various times, Tether maintained some of the Tether reserves in bank accounts other than the Tether bank accounts. Okay, I do that sometimes, bro. Tether represents that at times it also included receivables and non-fiat assets among its counted reserves, and further represents that Tether has not failed to satisfy a redemption request for Tether tokens. So they've always been able to redeem. So what's the issue? The order also finds that instead of holding all USDT token reserves in US dollars represented, Tether relied upon unregulated entities and certain third parties to hold funds comprising reserve. We know that. We know that they've held commercial paper and other cash equivalents. This is not new news. They're just getting a nice little finey for whatever. Crypto Casey says this is a bull trap. I don't know who Crypto Casey is, and Crypto Casey could be right. Maybe it's a bull trap, but technically a bull trap, like a dead cat bounce, should have been much lower. You know, like at what point are you invalidated? Will price be 70,000? We'll be like, oh, bull trap. I'm not saying price can't go down, but like bull trap, if it's a bull trap, it's trapping the institutions, the ETF buyers, basically all the smart money, right? I'm not saying it can't go down. It can certainly go down from here. We could all be super poor again tomorrow. Hi, Scott. What do you think about Stephen Roach saying dollar could collapse? It can't. The dollar cannot collapse by the end of 2021. So I think that's nonsense. Like, in 2 months from now, the dollar will be gone. Sorry, guys. Mad Max, enjoy your life. That's dumb. No offense. I don't know who that is. I've never heard it. I'm not. The dollar can slowly inflate and hyperinflate, but the dollar collapse by the end of 2021, that's clickbait. CryptoPunk owner declines a 9.5 million bid for his rare NFT, says to buyer have fun staying poor. That's not what it says. My punk is not for sale. Don't care what anyone offers me. His punk has the rare trait of 3D glasses. Only 3% of punks have 3D glasses. This punk can see in 3D, guys. This pixelated JPEG that's worth so much money, it can see 3D, and the other pixelated JPEGs can't, so it's worth more money. Listen, punks are cool. Punks are cool. Punks are cool, but you know, most of the JPEGs not going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. That's Diddy, Bad Boy, right? We ain't going nowhere. But yeah, guy refused to sell it. It would have been the highest sale of a punk, I think. 9 million. It would have sold. It would have been the largest crypto sunk sale ever by dollar amount. $9.5 million. Dude wouldn't sell this. If I had this and you're like, hey, here's $9 million, I would literally be like, just take it for 9 and get it done fast, bro. I don't know, man. I don't quite get it. The punks, I get it because, like, yeah, they're early and they're whatever, but like, it's still, it took someone 37.9 seconds to make this. Like, art should not be created. Just don't call it art. Maybe just don't call it art. You know, maybe we need a new name for it, because like art should take a really long time and a lot of thought to make. Not, holy God, guys, I have this idea. I found 2 words that both start with M. One of the words is monkey, and the other word is mayhem. If we put them together, we have mayhem monkeys. Now go make 1,000 of them. Like, we need to launch these tomorrow. That's not art. That's a cash grab. I'm not even hating on the NFT space. I'm just saying, let's not act like this is art. It's cool that they're scarce. I believe they will hold their value. But like, oh, this one has 3D glasses, bro. Did you see those 3D glasses? You're sounding like a boomer. Yeah, I am a boomer. And that's why we'll never see like another Sistine Chapel ceiling. Who's going to like go like deal with back pain on a loose, rickety ass old scaffold staring at a ceiling 16 hours a day for 5 years now, when you can just make a pixelated JPEG and sell it? True art is dead. Masters are gone. Video game platform Steam bans NFTs, crypto and blockchain based games. Well, they're going to have fun staying poor. It's like, welcome to Blockbuster. May I take your order, sir? Yeah, like just putting candy in the checkout aisle of Blockbuster is not going to save you. Like, how can you be a video gaming platform and ban the most compelling use case of gaming, right? And immediately Riot Games, who makes Fortnite, was like, oh, we're all in this shit. They're out, we're in, right? They're not going to like make Fortnite NFTs or anything super sweet like that. But yeah, I mean, that's what's going on here. They're just like, this is like China banning Bitcoin mining. Absolutely stupid. We know that the future is games. Oh, I want to show you guys this commercial. Did you guys see the new FTX commercial? Check this out. I want to play this for you. It's just awesome. I just want you to watch it. Come on. Oh, Epic Game.
Tom Brady wants a trade. Could he be coming home?
Well,
We're telling everyone.
I heard she wants to be in LA.
Caller 2, go. I'm hearing Denver.
I give you the new City Hall. Take that, Tampa.
A trade? Are you sure?
Not a trade. I'm trading crypto. FTX is the safest and easiest way to buy and sell crypto. It's the best way to get in the game.
Just trading crypto.
Oh.
Hey, y'all. It's not coming. Not coming.
Trade everything with Tom Brady. People call those top signals, dude. We need more celebrities. We need more of this. We need to go mainstream. FTX is doing God's work out here. Doing God's work. That commercial's amazing. I used to hate Tom Brady so much. I like him now. I hate that I like him. Speaking of which, you saw that they had Tampa there as Tampa, like Tom Brady, Tampa. My wife's from Tampa. I have close ties to Tampa. She posed this question on Twitter because of something I said. What do you guys call someone who's from Tampa? I want to see your responses. What do you guys call someone from Tampa? Tampite? Tampanian? I call them a tampon, and I have since I was a child, and that's what they are. They are tampons. It's not disparaging. You are a tampon if you're from Florida, from Tampa, Florida. It's just what you are. You're a tampon. Yeah, look at you guys. Tampon, 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 tampon. See, you guys are smarter than the average bear. They are tampons. Tom Brady, therefore, is a tampon because he is now from Tampa. He's an awesome tampon, huge tampon. Even the jerseys are like, they used to have that cool, like the retro throwback Bucks jerseys were amazing. Like the light orange, but the kind of reddish orange. Tampon. Anyways, guys, tampon. That's it for today. The first half of today, because I will be back at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Daily Time. I'll be back then, and we're probably going to take a look at a bunch of maybe top 10 coins, see just how wrecked they're looking, take a look at a few other things, answer a whole lot of questions, and we will dig in further. You guys are awesome. Please come for that later. And if you happen to just be on Twitter and see someone saying nice project, great project, terrific project, and I'm getting thousands of followers, report them. Somebody's trying to get me kicked off Twitter. I hope it doesn't work. Until later, my dearest of friends, Wolfpack, I'll see you this afternoon. Peace.
Let's go.